Good morning, everybody. It is day 5 of summerween, and I am ready to party. I've got my extremely full cup of coffee right here. I'm so scared to pick it up right now. Oh my god, oh my god. Everybody's awake. We were very slow moving this morning. It's like 9:15 right now. We're up now. Breakfast is cooking, I've got my coffee, and I thought I would just give you a quick update before everybody wakes up. So, I am like 40% of the way through Ring Shout. I didn't read any more since I updated you in the last vlog, but I'm really close to finishing the audiobook. So I'm kind of determined today to finish 2 books. I want to finish Ring Shout, and I want to finish The Only One Left by Riley Sager, because I am pretty far into it at this point, 240 pages into it, and I don't have that much left to read. So my goal today is to finish both of them. It's kind of a big ask, but I'm hoping that if I can read in the playroom like I did yesterday, if I can do that again, it'll be perfect, because I think I could actually finish it before she goes down for her nap, and then while she's napping, I can finish Ring Shout. This is all like my ideal world kind of plan, because if I can finish both of them, then I can read one more book, hopefully, by the end of the read-a-thon, because I realized that I goofed. Yesterday, I kept saying like, oh, I had only, I'd started Ring Shout in the dark, and so I'll just only read it in the dark because I can like check off that prompt for summerween. And then I proceeded to go on a walk and listen to it on the walk, like in the light of day. Not my best moment. So I didn't even realize this, by the way, until like 3 a.m. I had kind of woken up for a second and was like, oh my God. So that's a GG's. So that's the only prompt that I actually still need to complete, is to read a book in the dark. And so if I can finish these 2 books today, I can find something short that I can then read in the dark. I just like to win. It doesn't have to be fair. Maybe that's like very Slytherin of me. I'm not a Slytherin though. I'm a Ravenclaw. I'm a Slytherclaw. At this point, I'm rambling. Okay, so I'm gonna go make breakfast, get everything set up, and hopefully I can do some reading while she plays this morning in her playroom, so I can finish this bad boy, because I am enjoying it, having a good time. But at this point, it's like I just want to know the truth. And I think that's where our main character Kit is as well. She's like, I'm so done with the bullshit. I just want to know what went on. And I'm kind of at the same point where I'm just like, girl, let's just get to it. Like, let's get to the point, Lenora. Type faster. So let's find out what happens. I'm using my book light as a light right now in the bedroom. It's doing its job, I guess. It's like 2:45-ish, and Lennon's been napping. I have a huge headache because I was playing Power Wash Simulator on my Switch for a little bit, and it just always makes me so sick. Every time I try to play it, it makes me feel just so nauseous and like nasty. And then it didn't save my game, so it was like all for nothing. All the work that I had done on like the map I was on didn't even save. So I was like, okay. But I've been listening to Ring Shout while she was napping and stuff, and while I've been playing on Switch, and I'm almost done with it. I've got like 45 minutes left in the audiobook. I'm enjoying it. It's like a solid 4-star right now. It's really good. It's not like my new favorite thing or anything, but it's a really good book. Fantastic audiobook. I think if you're in like the market for a good audiobook, Ring Shout is going to be for you. It's so well done. But because I have a headache, I'm taking a break from everything. I think I'm just going to rest my eyes for a little bit because I feel so gross right now. Oh, and I've been listening to it in the dark. So you know what, like, yeah, yesterday I listened to like maybe 10 minutes of it outside on my walk, and I don't care.
I'm counting it as a book I've read in the dark because 10 minutes of my reading was in the light. Like the entire other rest of the book has been listened to in the dark. So I don't care. 10 minutes in the light, sue me. It's counting as the book I read in the dark. I'm gonna rest my head, rest my eyes, take a break for a second. Because I feel like I'm gonna barf. Holy crap. I just finished The Only One Left, and it was so good. 5 out of 5. Holy crap. Like, maybe, is it my favorite book of the year? It might be. It's definitely one of my favorite books of the year. I'm in shock. By the way, I was so wrong on my theory, and then I had a second theory, and I was right about that theory, but like, I didn't know the whole thing, but I had a glimpse. Like when you saw me in that clip, it was like 260-ish pages in, and I started to think something else, very random and out of the blue, and then it was right. But it wasn't like completely right, so it was so surprising. There were so many twists in this. I continued to be shocked. None of it felt gimmicky. Everything felt earned. It had me on the edge of my seat. I was invested. Like, this was so freaking good. I'm so glad that this is actually good and that Riley Sager has been redeemed for me, because I was so convinced that if this wasn't going to be perfect, like, I'd be done with him. But this was fantastic. Holy crap. I'm so glad that I read this. 5 out of 5 stars. Like I said, I've only got like a little bit left of Ring Shout, and I can listen to that in the dark tonight. Like, listen to my audiobook. I don't know if you can hear Lana taking a bath up there, but maybe I can listen to the audiobook tonight and finish it, and then tomorrow I could start a new book. I won't finish it by the end of the read-a-thon or anything, like, I'm sure, but still it would, you know, get to capture some of something I'm reading. But I'm at a loss. Like, this was so good. Oh my god, there's like this glare thing right here that will not go away, and I cannot like get it to go away, and I think it's from the lights. I can't. We're just gonna go because hi, welcome to the last day of summerween. I've tried to film this like 5 times now, and if it's not this, it's the crying baby, because she wants constant attention this morning, and I am losing it. Simply losing it. But real quick, okay, I got a little bit of time this morning. I started making my summerween bullet journal spread to kind of recap the week, so that's fun. It looks really good. I just need to do some little details and fill out the highlights portion, like my favorite parts of the week. I'm currently occupying her with a pouch, and it's very soon like going to be gone, so I've got to hurry, because I want this clip to just be my wrap up of summerween, because I finished Ring Shout last night, so I've officially now done all the prompts for summerween, and I read 3 books for summerween. So I'm gonna recap them, and then we'll kind of call it a day. The glare is actually like really getting to me. She's smearing her pouch all over her body right now. Okay, I had to come up here and do my wrap up really quick, put Miss Rachel on, because that's just where we're at today. At least the lighting is good. So yeah, the first book, She Is a Haunting. Editing Caitlin here, I'm realizing that I deleted the footage of me introducing She Is a Haunting, because it was when Lennon was freaking out and I had to move. So really quick, She Is a Haunting is about a Vietnamese American woman named Jade, and she decides to go to her dad's house that he is selling in Vietnam. She does this solely because she needs money. She needs to pay for her tuition. So her dad strikes a deal with her and says, if you come help me sell this house, then I will give you the money you need for tuition. They don't have a good relationship, but she doesn't really care. She just needs coin, so she goes. She takes her little sister along with her, and it is when she first gets to the house that she realizes that it is haunted. It turns out that the house is haunted when she gets there, so she has to basically convince her family that the house is haunted because they don't believe her. That's where the hijinks come in. But while there are lighthearted moments like this in She Is a Haunting, there's also a lot of discussions about like colonization and gentrification, and obviously there's talks about racism and other deeper, more serious topics like that. I thought that this book was fine. Like I said, I think it had a very strong start. And I was really interested in it, and I found myself like really engaged with the story. But in the end, I think that the third act really suffered. I really did not like the way that this book ended. I really did not like the way that it handled the relationships in the story and the characters and the way that they interact. It just didn't feel right to me. So that's where the 3.5 comes from. I will say that there are some genuinely terrifying moments in the story involving bugs. They're really nasty, so if you have any phobia and fear of bugs, I think that this is a book that you'll want to stay away from because it gets really icky. The next book that I finished in Summerween was The Only One Left by Riley Sager, which I gave a 5 out of 5 stars. The Only One Left actually hit a lot of the prompts because it's a thriller. It has orange and black on the cover, and it takes place in the fall. So this story follows a woman named Kit, who is a caregiver, and she's been a caregiver for like 12 years now. Something happened with her last patient that ended up having to get investigated. She got temporarily suspended, and basically everyone around her in her town believes that she did something bad, even though she hasn't necessarily been proven guilty of whatever it is that they think that she did. So because she's kind of looked down upon, she desperately needs a job, and it's kind of hard to come by. She gets assigned to this woman named Lenora Hope on the cliffs of Maine. And so Lenora Hope is actually very infamous in the town because it's been rumored that she murdered her parents and her sister in 1929. Kit gets to this giant mansion where Lenora lives and realizes that Lenora is basically completely unable to take care of herself. She can't talk, she can't walk, she can only move her left hand. And so Kit starts taking care of her and realizes that Lenora can actually use a typewriter, and finds out that Lenora wants to tell the story of what happened on that night in 1929 and finally clear up the air on who done it and what happened to her family. I thought that this book was so freaking good. I told you guys I was so nervous about this because I'm so back and forth with Riley Sager. And so I was really, really hoping and praying that it was going to be a good book, and it was. The payoff was there. I thought that the characters were really interesting and compelling. The twists were insane and they were constant. I thought that it was a very spooky atmosphere. I was actually very tense while reading a lot of the times. This book had me guessing the majority of the time as well. And I just love when a book can take me by surprise, especially a thriller. And for the longest time, I thought I had an idea of what was going on. I was completely wrong on my first theory. My second theory, I was like half right, but didn't get the full story. And the parts that I didn't get the full story of made it even more surprising, to where it was like exciting to be right. This is definitely my favorite Riley Sager now, and I think that if I had to do an official ranking of Riley Sager's work, I would say it would be The Only One Left, Home Before Dark, Lock Every Door, Final Girl, Survive the Night, The House Across the Lake, and then the only one that I haven't read is The Last Time I Lied. So that's my unofficial ranking as of right now. It's definitely shaping up to be one of my favorite books of the year. I don't want to oversell it and overhype it because I feel like this is a book that could very easily become overhyped, but I do think that it's a really well done thriller that I personally, it did everything that I wanted. And then the last book that I read for Summerween was actually an audiobook, and it was Ring Shout, which I gave a 4 stars. So this counts for Read in the Dark because I listened to it in the dark. We're not going to count that like 10 minutes that I was outside and listened to it. We're not counting it. But I read this in the dark. It has black on the cover and it is a novella. It's under 200 pages. I believe it's like 185-ish pages. This is a book that actually took me by surprise because I had no idea what it was about. I had just heard that it was a really well done horror novella. So that's all I really needed. I really had a good time with it. I will say that the audiobook for this is fantastic. I think this would be the way to consume the story. So if you're able to get the audiobook, Ring Shout on audiobook is the move. It was well done. So Ring Shout follows our main character and her friends, and they are basically monster hunters. And by monsters, I mean the KKK, but they're zombies, kind of. Like, they don't die like normal humans. So this has got some fantastical elements in it, even though it is set during like the time when the KKK was very, very well established and popular and on the rise. And so from what I understand, because I think that there's a lot of this story that's kind of left to be a mystery, but from what I understand, the Birth of a Nation film, which is a real film that was incredibly racist, that film kind of started the KKK in this world. It would like form the KKK, and in this world, the Klan is a group of zombies. Like, it's not just regular racist jerks, it's like monsters, literal raw monsters. And so our main character and her friends are kind of the ones that kick ass, take names, and kill them all. And she's got like a special sword that can like has magic in it. She can talk to her ancestors. She can talk to ghosts in general, I believe. It's got a little bit of sleepwalking, like dream walking in it. And it's a little all over the place. I don't know how to describe this book because there's so much that's like wrapped in fantasy while also being reality. It was really fun. It's sad at points and it does go into very dark topics, but I think that the author did such a great job of riding that line between what is fantasy and what is reality and mixing the two together. The urban fantasy elements in the story are really intriguing. Like you want to know more about this world. You want more stories from this world. And honestly, in the way that the book kind of ends, it's like it could potentially have a sequel, and I think that it would be awesome if it did. It was funny, it was insightful, it was really freaking sad at some points, but I thought that it was a well done novella and definitely had the creepy, scary, horrific elements to it. Only reason that it's not a 5 for me is because personally I give 5 for books that like rocked my socks off and have become like a favorite, or it's a book that I simply think is like perfect and I can't find a flaw in it. And this book didn't do that for me necessarily. It's not like the new favorite book for me, but I thought that it was really well done, and it's a book that I would recommend. So I gave it a 4. So I would recommend this book. I think you should check it out, especially on audiobook, because my God, the audiobook is great. So that was my Summerween experience. I had a really good time with Summerween this year. I am so excited that I got to participate. I had a lot of fun just reading so much because it's been a while since I've really dedicated myself to reading like I did with this read-a-thon. But I hope you had a good time watching my chaotic week in life as a mom of a toddler while also participating in a read-a-thon. It's a lot, but I guess I wouldn't have it any other way. But I will talk to you guys soon. I'm sure I will update you again before the month is over. So I'll see you later.